According to Claude, the market is supposed to end the week on the highs or lows for the week. Claude's acting up today, so I don't know if we can really rely on that. We're just stuck in the middle of the range. Looked good going into that close yesterday. I don't know what happened overnight. Jobs number at 8:35. Is anybody really going to care? Lululemon. Does it have a date with double digits? We'll discuss that. Also have some earnings from some smaller companies. The market's messy. Let's look at some charts at 8:35 with Tony Pawlak, president of Real Life Trading. It's a messy Friday here on Pre-Market Prep, so let's get it started.
The volatility right now is really incredible.
Wow, look at that consolidation on the upper right chart.
You know what we've seen this earnings season? Some of these expected moves get even more violent. This is why I have switched my strategy 10 years ago. And if you're chasing, you're in trouble.
Okay, right back down, folks. Down 40 handles, 75.62. A little bit of a weak close and weak follow through. We'll see if we can hold the lows from yesterday. The buck trading down 20 cents at 99.17, just consolidating once again. TLT up a nickel, real quiet the last 2 days, 85.55. USO flat, 136.68. Gold and silver doing their own thing, both down. SLV down a little bit more on a percentage basis, 1.61%. That's a $1.08. That's at 65.90. That's just hovering at the low of the move. GLD down a $1.18, 410.09. Same chart formation. What happens if you break the 200-day and Bitcoin flirting with the lows of the move? How many down days in a row is that for Bitcoin? Have we ever seen that? Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11-day losing streak. Holders, where are you? All right, let's bring in Triple D. Triple D.
Is that right? 11-day losing streak in Bitcoin?
Yeah, it might be compared to the open, but let me look real quick here.
I should have been selling when me and Brad were talking about selling. That was about 10% ago. Maybe more.
There was one little update, but it was lower than the open. So that gives you a red candle. But yeah, you can see it here. I don't know if you can see it, if this is big enough.
Yeah. There's just a new sexy toy in town, and that is AI. And when you have a new sexy toy, the old sexy toys get thrown away. And this is what has happened with Bitcoin. It has been thrown away. And I don't know what turns the story around. I don't know what turns the narrative. I don't know what it does. It does never done anything. It was just kind of fun for a bit. So I think rallies to be sold here. I think the Bitcoin story,
like how over is it?
But it is ice cold. Ice cold. Like, what turns it around? Like, what's the catalyst to say, oh, yeah, we want to be invested in Bitcoin? What's the catalyst? I mean, and let's not just pick on Bitcoin here. Look at gold. Look at silver, just hanging out near the lows. Brentster, I mean, what's the catalyst? Why do we want gold and silver? Maybe silver has some utility. And
Bitcoin. The kid in the third row.
Calling me, teacher, calling me. What if agents start using crypto? What if it's their?
There's 100,000 of them different ones to use. So, like, Louis Sykes. So, I mean, is it going to be in Bitcoin, or is it going to be in some other cryptocurrency, or maybe it's not going to be cryptocurrency at all? I mean, where they're burning tokens and we're paying and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what the Bitcoin catalyst is to turn it around. Like, I'm struggling to see a catalyst here, unless Trumpster comes in. That would be the catalyst. If the Trumpster comes in and says, that's it, you guys got to go and buy Bitcoin right now, that could change things. We know when Trumpster comes in, the IBM story turned around on a heartbeat. So, I mean, just watch your Trump account, because he can turn things around. But without
revisionist history, Dennis, wasn't he pumping Bitcoin into his administration?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. If he says it again, then it would take off.
Oh, then they'll listen.
People have forgotten that he was a Bitcoin, fanatic here. So people have forgotten that. So he needs to, Trump, if you're listening, if you want to turn Bitcoin around, you got to say something about it, because it's the only way it's going to turn around. I don't know what to say about it. I've been wanting to sell it out of a hodling 1% of my long-term account of Bitcoin, which is probably down to 0.5% here now. There's no reason for it. So I'm sorry. I think the Bitcoin story is over.
Can we talk Hyperliquid for a sec?
Yeah.
We were watching on the Trading Edge with Trader Prad on the Stock Trader Network yesterday. We were watching Prad arbitrage Hyperliquid contracts and in the stock market. So he would go long one and short the other, and you basically capture, like, you can basically get paid for providing liquidity directly from Hyperliquid.
This is like back to 1999, what I lived on was providing liquidity on different things and risk arbitrage and all the things. So I guess you can do a little bit of it here. It looks like still in the regular market to get that crypto count. What is his crypto count? Like, what is he trading the actual Hyperliquid on? Is it on
Hyperliquid?
Oh, so he has like a Hyperliquid account.
Yeah, yep, and he's using those contracts, and we'll get Pratt on pre-market prep one day here pretty soon.
Yeah. Let's bring him on here. He's one of our main
it.
contributors over there at STN Think Tank. There, he comes up with great ideas. Obviously, a prop trader, and he's been around for a while here. He does a lot of cool things. Joel, you're laughing in the background. You're smiling about something. What are you smiling about over there?
No, I'm not. Just Pratt. It would be very early to get Pratt out of bed.
Oh yeah, that is.
Yeah, Prad's pretty young guy there. He didn't want to do it at 8 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. Where is Prad located?
He's in Toronto, but
he's in Toronto. What are we talking about?
Because he stays up.
These kids trade up. They stay up all night trading, and they can't wake up in the morning. But he does pretty well here. Okay, we digress. Let's go back into it here. Obviously, the disaster of the day yesterday was AVGO. CrowdStrike was a disaster to get bought back, but it wasn't a disaster for the market. You could feel it early. The S&Ps did not want to go down. The rotation was obvious, and it was direct, and it was hot rotation after the open to banks, taking off. We obviously talked about staples and drugs had a great day, but there was a lot of other things that were having a great day there too yesterday. Oil was down, so the real economy was picking up the slack for the Broadcom here. No real bounce in Broadcom, and no real bounce in a lot of the other names here either. Like Marvell. Well, Marvell did at the end of the day here, but this morning or last night we got multiple stocks reporting here earnings too. I don't know if you want to start on the earnings here, the Brentster here. Maybe we should start on the earnings here. Talk about Lululemon maybe and see what's going on, or do you want to cover AVGO, Joel? So let's go AVGO for a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Give me the technicals, and is there a hope for this 400 level?
Oh man, I'm gonna go easy. Dennis likes one number. I mean, first of all, a retracement is so like 300 to 500. 400 looks like a psychological level. But what I like to do in these instances for Triple D, because he gets very upset, is I try and identify a bunch of lows in the same area. And that's the only thing I can do for you when the stock moves like this. And I see 3 lows at 395, 4 lows at 395. That's sub 400. Let's jam the 400 sell stops, right? And I'm not going to get out on strength. I'm going to get out on weakness. I'm going to put my stop at 400. They're going to fill it at 395. So that's the first area of support that you have. And you also have the sneaky 50-day there. So I'm giving you that as a potential support today. Wait for it to stop going down. Maybe do the little Triple D hook and going higher. But that's the next area of support for AVGO.
Before we go on, everyone is talking about this same stock here, STI. It's traded 14 million shares. Prad was the one who brought it to us yesterday saying, look at this headline. And this headline from yesterday was awesome. Yeah, I do have it here. And I tweeted it out yesterday here.
You're better at reading it, Dennis. I want you to.
Yeah, so yesterday at 6 a.m., STI was a $4 stock. At 6 a.m., they come out with the headline that maybe had the most buzzwords in the history of headlines. Their headliner press release is this: Solidian, which is STI, Solidian Technology unveils patented extreme climate battery technology targeting low Earth orbit-based artificial intelligence data centers, lunar economy, and space. A plus to the marketing team here who wanted to market their stock. This is an unbelievable headline here, meaning that they put every buzzword they possibly could get in there. They literally, I don't know if they were just using Claude or what they were using. Well, they wanted this party to continue this morning. So at 6 a.m. again, they come out with another headline here this morning. Solidian's Technologies 30-plus patents for space-based artificial intelligence batteries include the highest performing patented lithium anode protection technology. I don't even know if that sentence makes sense, but they put a lot of buzzwords in that one there too. So the buzzword pump award goes to Solidian Technology, who are obviously trying to pump their stock as hard as they can here this morning. Up another 100% here. I don't know where this, party ends here. We know we see these things all the time, but this company has so many buzzwords in there. That's unbelievable.
This stock is trading on the nature of the structure here. It's trading on the low floatness. Yes, there have been press releases. Yeah. Yes, people are targeting the press releases. Keep in mind, this is a low float instrument. People are using this to trade.
Risky. So Joel says no technicals for you.
No technicals. Here,
He's like, I'm not even touching this on a technical basis. We know how these stories end. They pop, they go crazy. Everybody gets excited. They sucker some retail traders in there, and then eventually the rug pulls out.
How did he do? Because I was listening to it a little bit. Did he do okay? Because it was like, it's limit up.
Did Brad trade it?
Yeah.
He was laughing about it. I don't know if he traded it.
I don't think he traded it like on air.
We're just laughing about it.
Yeah.
It's one thing to come up with a buzzword, but when you have like every single hot buzzword in your press release, like it's a little obvious, like what you're trying to accomplish here. So I don't know. That's all I'm going to say about STI. Congratulations on having every buzzword and getting the award for most buzzwords ever. Do I believe, this is going to be? I don't follow the company. I don't know anything. I'm not going to talk about the company's fundamentals, but the press release was ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. So we'll leave it at that. Everybody's talking about the stock here this morning. Trade 14 million shares. Who knows where the party ends here? Risky, the most risky thing ever.
We talked about the stock. Everyone's talking about it. Are you happy, Claude? Are you happy?
That's
I was just going to ask Claude what Claude thinks of that stock.
Can we go to Lulu?
Yeah, do the Lulu report, which was not good.
Lulu reporting $1.69. That was a penny miss. Sales did beat, though. Guidance was poor. They're expecting next quarter sales 2.45 to 2.48 billion. Analysts are all the way up at 2.6 billion. Their earnings guidance was cut pretty substantially. They cut their earnings guidance by about $350 million. That is substantial. They are now expecting 2026 sales in the range of 11 to 11.15 billion. Analysts are all the way up closer to 11.5 billion. Lulu shares here trading down 10% on a bar that was already somebody dug down into the ground. They put the bar down there and then they covered it up and then they dug a hole to get under it somehow. How did they get under that bar?
It's just a mess. So I tried this long for an earnings run-up trade 3 days ago. It couldn't even get any earnings run-up. So I'm like, well, I'm selling it because it's not even getting a pre-earnings run. Usually these stocks that are beaten down will get a little pop-up before the earnings report. No, so I took my 5-point loss and moved on. Thank goodness I did that because that 5-point loss would now be a 20-point loss here. So that's why you take your losers, folks. Take them. You're going to be right. You're going to be wrong. Just getting out of the ones you're wrong. That's what's going to make you profitable in the long run. Taking your losses and moving on. Don't be afraid to take a loss. That's how the real traders do it. So Lululemon down 12 points, down 10%. It's a disaster of a report, lowering guidance. This is one of those scenarios where the PE actually might go up here today because they lowered the earnings guidance enough that I think they lowered it more than 10%. So stock falls 10%, but the PE actually goes up. This is what we saw with Under Armour for years here. So we've been saying, long term, we didn't know about Lululemon if it was going to be the next Under Armour. It is apparently going to be the next Under Armour here. So I've tried this long a couple of times. It hasn't worked. This stock is just a disaster. Could it, bounce back? Sure. Stuff, doesn't go straight down. But everything Lululemon is doing is turning to dust. It's really got to figure everything out. I mean, to hiring the Nike executive, that was really the downfall there. I mean, you really thought that you can turn this around by hiring a Nike executive when Nike is doing the same. Nike may be the only worse retailer than you. So that was the downfall. Remember, we were coming live in the STN think tank that night, and stock was 160 and then went up to like 170. And I'm like, is this bullish? I'm like, they're hiring Nike executive. And then, literally like a few minutes later, the rug pull happens, and they just kept pulling and pulling and pulling. And stock went down to 141. You see the big gap down there in the chart, and has not recovered here. So, when you have your management that goes and takes, a competitor, I'm not saying anything against that exec, but you're coming from a really tough company here. So maybe that exec is going to turn it around, but so far, not so good.
I also really quickly just want to mention another retailer that reported last night, and it was a poor report. This is a name that we don't talk about much. It has low volume, 150,000 shares per day. It's Zoomies, but they reported a really bad quarter too. Like, retail is not in a great shape here.
No, it's
if
not.
You look from the earnings front.
No, and we've seen a lot of retailers report this earnings season. There's been some that have been okay. Macy's was fine here, but there's been, some tough, retails. We've been talking about Home Depot, but the dollar store has not been going great here. Dollar General is now near 52-week low here. It's soft consumer. The consumer is soft. We're going to get jobs data here in 13 minutes. Let's see what's happening here too. But again, we've been talking about the tale of two economies. The AI economy is booming. The consumer is not really booming. Like somebody was joking in the STN think tank last night. Yoga pants are gas. Yoga pants are gas.
Wait a second. No, I have to step in here.
Okay, please.
I have a potential catalyst for Lululemon.
Oh, gosh. I want to hear this.
And Feehan shot it down.
No.
Feehan did it.
Okay, well, I don't want to hear it then, because if Fee takes it down, he knows it. So just move on.
No,
I'm not going to move on.
I like Lululemon. I own
the stock.
I think we should ask them to be a sponsor of the show. And it would be leisure, comfortable clothes for old people. They can totally change their narrative. They can go after the people that have money, that haven't lost everything trading crypto. I can tell you, I was going to go put on some stuff. It's very comfortable.
Joel has Lululemon clothes. They're very good clothes.
You're kind of onto something here, Joel.
My mom always said I was a fancy dresser. I don't think so. They're comfortable.
Get somebody who's Lululemon clothes. I want to see. So I've never owned any Lululemon clothes because I'm cheap. And I just look at them and I can't pay $100 for a pair of jogging pants. So I've never owned any clothes. I respect that they had a great business and the stores were so busy for a while here. But when you're paying 40, 50 times earnings, when that growth starts to slow, you're in trouble. And what we've seen here is the great case of multiple contraction, where 50 times on retail doesn't work in the long run. And they eventually come back down to under market multiples. That is what Lulu's now. It's like 12 or 10 times earnings. But again, it's going down 10%. It didn't go down to 9 times earnings. They just lowered the guidance by that much. So we've seen the same story with Nike. The PE just keeps coming down despite the stock coming down here. So I don't think there's a turnaround story here imminent. I like your sponsorship idea here, Joel, for us. If you want to reach out, we'll give you permission here to reach out to Lululemon and say, hey, we won't even talk bear. Don't show them this segment, though. Definitely when you're sponsoring, don't show them this segment. So, guys, the 1,300 people or whatever are watching this thing right now, do not show them this segment. So, shh. And then we'll see if they'll sponsor the show.
By the way, I don't do yoga. I hate yoga. I don't do yoga. So
they need to change. I think the idea of changing the narrative here, though, that it's not a yoga pants, but it's comfortable pants for old people. Think about the aging population. I think you actually are right. They should have hired Joel Elconin, not the Nike executive here. I agree with the narrative change. We have comfortable clothes for old people who are sitting there managing their portfolio. These pants are so comfortable here. So I like the narrative change here, Joel. I think you're on to something. The analyst community is not buying it. We have lowered price target at Barclays, B of A, Jefferies, Wells Fargo, Stifel, Baird, Piper.
Now you're getting me really bullish.
Bernstein, downgraded BNP Paribas, downgraded at BTIG.
Oh, now I'm super bullish.
Now you're super bullish because every analyst just turned bearish.
Okay. I will say, I will go out on a limb, and I'll say the pre-market low of 107.99. We bounced $4, so it's not that much.
Joel's saying there's a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance.
I can't. I don't know. I mean, the stores are packed. The young ladies are so nice to you in there. I don't know what the problem is. I'll just give you your next monthly
The problem
low.
is the pants are expensive, and it's not as cool as it was 5 years ago. That's
This
the
is
problem.
Claude is absolutely going to rip us a new one. We got to move.
Yeah, we've been on Lululemon too long. Claude's
fault.
going to go nuts, and Claude does not like yoga pants. So we better move on here. Take us away here. We could go Planet Labs and do a little Planet Labs. Claude will like Planet Labs.
And then Carmen's saying rubric. We'll have Dennis try to pronounce it.
I can't say that.
Planet Labs reporting a better than expected loss. They reported 3 cents per share. Analysts were looking for 4 cent per share loss. Sales did beat at 94 million. Analysts were under 90. Solid guidance. They are now expecting 2027 sales 425 million to 441 million. Analysts were down at 425 million, despite a decent quarter, a nice quarter, and some strong guidance shares trading down about 6%. Also a case of the bar too high. I haven't zoomed out on the chart in this one in quite some time. Let me see.
The space stock has been hot. I think the whole talk of SpaceX has helped this story as well, moving the stock up from about $25 2 months ago to $50. It's doubled. I don't know on the technicals here, but it looks tired to me, Joel.
I don't know. I let this one shake out. An earnings day move bounced off the pre-market low, 39.51. We don't have a daily level that coincides with that. So I do like the 39 that's close to the 50-day. If this is just a pullback to buy in this stock and we're just going to go, I'd say we hold the 50-day, we turn up, we take back half of that move, major sellers over 50. But right now, let's see the two, if the 50-day comes into play and it turns around and hooks higher. You also might be careful here. I don't know when their last earnings report was, but you have a long consolidation period right here. So who knows if you're coming into one of those. But let's just check out that 50-day right there, 38.75, near the pre-market low.
Go DocuSign. I'm avoiding that RBK stock on purpose because I can't say the name. DocuSign, DOCU.
DocuSign reporting $1.09. Analysts were at 99 cents. Sales beating modestly 830 million. How does the guidance look? Guidance looks fine. They're expecting Q2 sales in the range of 865 million to 869 million. Analysts are 866 million. Their fiscal year 27 sales guidance was also like pretty fine, kind of in line to fine. DOCU shares under pressure, down 4%.
Oh, the story here is just ice cold too. It's software. I mean, it did rip up with the recent software rally, and they are buying the dip on some tech names, but DocuSign, I mean, we've created software that you can digitally sign your signature on the contracts. That's everything. That's the whole business. I mean, it was ingenious because it was so simple,
thing, right?
Yeah, it was so simple.
Don't take words out.
But what else are they doing? Like, what else are you working on here? Signatures. What else are you signing over there? I mean, we all use it. It's an awesome product. I just don't know where the growth's coming from. I just don't know if you're going to get disrupted massively when Anthropic figures out a quicker way or a better way to do it. I don't know if there's even a better way to do it. Maybe it's so simple it can't be disrupted. But I don't know what the story here is.
Catalyst,
the growth here.
Unfortunately, that catalyst is a pandemic. So let's hope it does. Don't you sign, right? Everyone during the that's the only way you can do things, right? Sign, boom. Yeah. Dead money. If you feel like there is hope for this company, it did have a rally off the $40 level, got close to 57. You know what that means. 50% retracement right in this area of a couple lows. If this thing's going to hold up, it's going to hold up 48.40, 48.50, just ahead of the 50-day and curl and turn up. But, it's just a dead cat bounce here, but you are getting a check back if you are interested in looking at this stock. On the long side, someone says, Richard Judd says he uses it for real estate. So
everybody uses it, Joel. You know how many times everybody uses DocuSign? The question is, where's the growth coming from? Everybody already uses it. It's awesome. The product they create is great. I just don't know what else it is. It feels like Zoom video, like, well, they all use Zoom, but then, somebody else came out with something they stopped using. I don't know if they're going to stop using DocuSign. It's so simple. Why even use anything else? So maybe it is. Its moat is, this actually has a moat because everybody uses it. And maybe it's just simple enough that why even disrupt this? Like, how are you disrupting something that has that big of a moat? So maybe it's fine, but where is the growth coming from? Like, who else, unless it's population growth here, or going to be a lot more contracts, maybe the algos are going to be using it themselves when they're going back and forth. But this is, I just don't know where the growth's coming from. But, I mean, awesome product. Everyone uses it.
Look at this little tidbit. DocuSign owns an Anthropic stake. I don't know if I don't have confirmation of that. Do we know?
And we can find out. There's a lot of companies that own a small piece of Anthropic that have invested in it. Is it good enough to move the needle? That would be the question here. I mean, we've been talking about, obviously, a lot of, some of these companies that have SPVs like DXYZ that own Anthropic stakes that have bigger stakes that move the needle. I mean, somebody was talking about, we did this in the think tank, and was it Google that has an Anthropic stake? And we broke it down, and it's like 0.5% of their market cap, though, or something, or 1% of their market cap. I mean, so, if Anthropic came out and doubled, Google would go up 1%. You got to do that math. You can't just think, oh, yeah, Google has a stake, it's going to go way up on this. Well, it's not, because it's just too small relative to the market cap. DXYZ is like 20% of its market cap. That's why, that's been the play. But the problem is when these things go public, there's premiums come out of these things because these things are all trading way above NAV. So they're not slam dunks either here. So, the DXYZ has been great, but, just coming in here and saying, yeah, we're, because DocuSign owns an Anthropic stake, it's going to go a lot higher. We got to go do the math. I didn't do that math, but
it's complicated math too, right? When they're saying, well, you really don't own it.
Well, the SPV positions, yeah, some of them do. So we don't know the special purpose vehicle. Anthropic was challenging that special purpose vehicle. So we don't know. That's a whole nother can of worms. I don't know if that applies to DocuSign though. So
okay.
We got
RBRK. I said it right. Rubik's Cube.
We have under 2 minutes here until our jobs data. Can you go to chart RBRK, Joe, please?
You have 30 seconds. Go.
This was a really strong report. They swung to a profit. Analysts were expecting a loss. They reported 16-cent per share gain. Analysts were looking for a 3-cent loss. So that's really strong. And their fiscal 27 guidance was really strong. They raised it sharply. They're now expecting earnings of 25 to 35 cents. Analysts are down at about 17 cents for Rubrik.
Let's see if we can regain the mark. Most important thing on earnings day. That comes in at 77. Previous day's high, 78.25. Hasn't breached right at yesterday's low. If the Bulls want to defend this, they can step up right here and defend it at the pair lows from Wednesday and Thursday.
Bulls. Okay, jobs preview. Let's go.
We are looking for non-farm payrolls, 85,000 jobs added. This is going to be the report for May.
Market.
Also for non-farm, same number, 85,000 jobs added. Unemployment rate is expected to remain at 4.3%. Blue was under the impression that this was going to be a light reading. He was more in the range of no jobs added to about 40 or 45,000 jobs added when I asked him, I think last week. 3, 2, 1. It's 8:30. We are standing by for data. It looks very strong. Non-farm payrolls, 172,000 jobs added versus an estimate of 85,000. Private sector payrolls, 120,000 jobs added. Unemployment is unchanged at 4.3%. That is right in line with where economists were expecting. We get a pop on SP 500 futures, and it looks like we leak it all back right away. Faded.
Yeah.
Why?
Better word.
Why markets? I guess it just wants to go lower here. This is a decent number here.
Solid number.
It's hot enough that you're going to have no chance of like the Fed changing course here.
That's it.
So, I mean, if you want interest rates to go lower, this is not the way.
Yep.
So, but if you're worried about the economy, you're like, economy's still humming along here. So I guess that's what it is, Joel. It's like there is no interest rates coming lower anytime soon. IWM has rolled over here. Lots of other things have rolled over here as well, including the market here. Yeah, I don't know. not good news here. At least if you want lower rates. TLT rolling over here as well. I think you're right, Joe. I think that's it.
I'm not going to get super bearish off this number, but I will say that is absolutely horrible price action. Starting at the close yesterday, starting at the open last night,
It's been a nonstop seller.
Yeah. Yep. Step down seller, man. They're
taking lay off.
Yeah. Man, I will look at, well, first of all, we got the intraday low from yesterday to keep an eye on, 41.75. The Globex low was lower, but I'm going to reserve any super bearish talk until we take out last week's low, and that's a ways to go. So just the way of the street, we just had an incredible run here. Let's get rid of this stupid 1 minute chart here and just get back to reality about what the market's really been doing. Here, I'm going to go back to the 15-minute here. And we have just had an absolute incredible run since April. So would a check back to, 7,200, the 50-day moving average, is that unreasonable?
No, very unreasonable.
That would be healthy.
No, very unreasonable.
It would be?
Because unreasonable. We are not allowed to go down anymore in the S&P, Joel. They don't allow it. They just buy other things. So there's not allowed. Like, it's like illegal for stocks to go down. So you see this dip here. Is their money managers going to buy this dip here today? I'm not going to bet against the money managers coming in and buying the dip again. I want a bull bear market. I like trading bear markets better. This slow grind higher drives me nuts. But you know what? I don't think this jobs number is going to be the turning point.
I think this jobs number is not reflecting the current environment. I think there's been...
I don't think stocks reflect the current environment. Okay. The real economy is not doing that great right now here. It's not. But the AI economy is booming. Like booming so much that it's hiding all the pain and all the suffering of some of these other companies here who are not doing great at all. There's a lot of Lululemons. We pick on Lululemon a lot, but when you go into retail and you go into some other stocks, a lot of stocks sit not that far from 52-week lows. So we've done this, we went through this list here. We can do it again, later on today. But, we looked at, how many S&P 500 companies were making new 52-week lows, and it was like 8% of the index. And that has never happened in the history of the stock market, where you have the S&P is at an all-time high, and almost 10% of companies are making 52-week lows. This has never happened before. So that's an incredible stat. It is what it is. Are we overbought? Yeah. Are we due for a sell-off? Yeah. Do I think it's coming? If you've been trying to call a top in the last 2 months, you've just been crushed. So I'm not going to be the person that tries to call the top.
Okay.
Buying the dip blindly has been the best strategy since the start of the stock market. Joel likes calling the top.
This is the most bearish price action.
There's gotta be. I wonder how many times you've said that in the last 10 years of this show.
You know
this
what?
Has got to be the most bearish price action that I've ever seen.
100,000 times. I really mean it. And I usually do it when we're here. I'm like, oh no, we got to get out of the market, right? We just got to get out. We can't have equities anymore. And it's usually right here, or right here, or let's go to a monthly. Let's go to a monthly here. This is one of the first times in my history that I've actually said it. I said, oh, God, super bearish, right here, right here, right here. This is one of the only times where the market's been up here, and I've been super bearish.
There you go. Joel's calling the top. Let's go see if Tony's calling the top. So I want to know what Tony Pawlak is looking at, because Joel loves being a bear, just like me. Let's see what Tony says when he goes out long term and sees what he sees.
Tony's the only person on our show laughing. Are we up, funny, Tony?
We're up. I'm just laughing. You guys are awesome. This is so funny.
It's Joel. Ridiculous.
It's getting to that point, yeah. Where I love your strategy. It's just blindly buy anything. It's like that's the only thing that's rewarding everybody.
Well, it is. The blind squirrel is winning so many nuts right now. The blind squirrel has so many nuts that his tree is full. He doesn't even know what to do. I saw the squirrel on my porch yesterday and was burying a nut in this like potted plant here. And I'm like, they are so full of nuts. They're out of ground here. This is where we are in the stock market. The blind squirrels are so full just from blindly buying the dip here. Tony, are you out there just blindly buying the dip here too?
No, I've missed a lot of. I've day traded this run up bullish, but
that's good. So you've got some nuts.
So we got a few nuts, but this is wild, guys. This is wild. This is what the markets love to do. They love to get people to think that they're expert traders because it was back in 2021. 2022 where it did this exact same thing where it's like all you have to do is buy and you will make money. Just give it 3 days.
Yes, that's what happens. Yes.
We're back into that same zone again where like everybody now, right? Pattern day trading rules are lifting. Everyone's like, I just buy and I make money, which by the way, pattern day trading rule is the greatest thing. That is the greatest move they've ever done. The pattern day trading rule is the stupidest rule they've ever done. Now the reverse.
Yeah, let's get rid of that stupid rule. We want massive speculation.
We want massive speculation because the more people we can get in the markets, the more money I'm going to make because people.
That's what Wall Street thinks.
They're predictable. It's so easy. Give someone $5,000 and I'll watch them lose it in 3 hours, and I'll know exactly why they lose it, and so I can just take the opposite side and make money. So trading is not going to get harder with this. It's going to get much easier. People are like, what's going to happen? I'm like, trust me, just look what people are doing. And it's very easy. Just do the opposite. But with that, these markets are rampaging. They've disconnected. But here's the cool thing again. It's giving us some signs. And Joel, I agree with you. I think this is some of the bearish price action that we've seen in at least a while. At least in a little while. I'm very curious on this. So if you pull up my chart here on this thing, I
gotta see this bearishness here because we're adding it to the stage here right now, Tony. And when we look here, Brentster's going to get up there. Here we go.
So
that looks like the most bearish chart that I've ever seen in my life. That chart is so bearish.
Well, this one actually looks fantastic, and the buy the dip I think is going to be great. If the markets ever will get down below 720 into like 680, that zone is going to be a very good buy the dip opportunity. I believe we should see some really awesome close to the years. If we can get price action like this, I think we rip through the year if we can actually get it. I'm excited to buy this dip, but here's something that a whole lot of people are looking at. Whenever we get an epic run like this, we should be seeing building volume. Price action is the door opening, right? Like this bullish price action, super strong. The volume's telling me if I should walk through that door. The volume's telling me if I should trade it. This volume has done nothing but decline. This is the first time. Like we've had V bottoms before, and volume has increased with it 95% of the time. This is the biggest V bottom I've ever seen, and the volume has never agreed with it. We've never increased, even from the bottom. And that's what we were saying on the bottom down here. I was like, this is not a reversal volume, right? Most of the time, you'll get some type of capitulation when it's time and it rampages and you come through. This was just a gap up one day and just run through. And so it's very strong. I'm looking to buy the dip. And if I lose on the dip buy, so be it. Then it's going to completely crash and I'll make a ton of money on the way down. Because if the bulls don't come through here, first off, if we ever get there, but if the bulls don't come in at the great buying spot, look out, because everybody's mortgaged their entire life on stocks up here and they will all be getting margin calls like 2020. So I doubt that happens. That's why I'm looking to buy the dip. It'd be very easy money if it doesn't bounce, but very strong move up here. This is where the bearish price action is starting to come through. So if we start looking over here at the daily time frame, right?
Okay.
We start making new highs, but as we're making these new highs, we're not really climbing. So we're starting to put in these upper wicks on these new highs. If you compare that to where we're, really running through here, this is the momentum. Here's your momentum play telling us we got more left in the tank. This is no longer putting in these strong candles. In fact, gap ups are starting to fade. We're going back to a normal market, so to say. And we come back down and the bulls step in hard. And the fact that we are now starting to gap down below this, and if we pull up the Qs, it's even worse. The Qs right off the 10 EMA bought it straight back up, and now we are fully taking this out. Like for me on a day trade right now, I'm starting to drool on this. I am excited to day trade this on the Qs bearish here because I'm looking at this and going, target for me, probably I'm right through here. This is trapping everybody from yesterday. If you bought the dip yesterday thinking that you were going to be rich and the markets are just going to do what the markets do, this is the first time the bulls wake up and go, wait, what?
Yeah.
Hey, wait, what? Market's not allowed to be down.
Yeah, what? And it doesn't mean it's going to go lower. Like we got to let price action firm it. But I do know how people are feeling that bought this dip yesterday. They're scared, right? If someone starts to press the sell button, everybody else is going to. And there are so many people piled into this market that when are the cracks going to start to form? This is the first crack that I've seen form in a long time. The SPY is starting to kind of follow suit, but the Qs really is what's standing out. Whether or not we actually open below this, we have to wait another hour.
Joel, you got Tony in the bearish camp here too, so this is good. We have two bears here. Maybe you
we got two
because I want to be bearish, but
we got two.
I just can't bring myself to be bearish because every time I get bearish, it just rips my face off.
I'm
scared to short.
What if I get Kenny bearish? What if I get Kenny bearish as well?
Kenny can get bearish every once in a while.
But just real quickly, explain to people, yes, I talk bearish and everything. Never have shorted anything in my long-term portfolio. As fully invested as I've ever been. I mean, just for full clarification. Now, man, this is really tempting up here. But whatever. What are you going to do with the money, Tony? Tony, let's take this conversation another way. So let's say you take your money out of the market. What do you do with it? Put it in Bitcoin?
Yeah, that's the thing is like on my long-term stuff, I don't take the money out. I just buy puts. That way I get the same effect. If it drops, I'm covered. But if it doesn't drop, I'll lose 1% of my account on cost of puts. And I'm still in the markets to let it ride up another 10%. So if you're trying to time it, it's a very hard game. If you're taking your money out here, then, I mean, there's probably some defensive rotations you could try to move it into and play around with, but it's tough. I mean, this, like you said, guys, I want you guys to know, like I said, this is a day trade, right? This is not me shorting my entire account. This is me getting in and out because I see an opportunity. Yeah. I am not going to think we're going to get any pullbacks until 700 breaks on the Qs. So we could have a few bear days, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to go higher. And it's the same thing on SPY, on IWM, and all of this. Until SPY gets below 730, I am not believing we're having any real bear momentum that's going to last much longer than 3 hours. So I just wanted to put that out there too.
No. It's an excellent point, Tony. And I've grappled with, I have a couple concentrated stock positions and I'm like, oh, I got to sell calls. And then every time Dennis talks me out of it, he's like, you're giving away the upside and you're only protected so much on the downside. Also, buying puts can be expensive. I mean, is it something you do quarterly? Do you do put spreads? I mean, if you're doing it monthly and you have a sizable portfolio, you're going to be paying a lot to the premium gods.
Yeah.
Often, is it monthly, daily? Like right now, you're buying puts. You can buy puts right now today on the open. And just giving an example, the S&P, it could be 30 handles lower. Yeah. In 2 weeks, you'll be down money on those puts. You'll be down money on those puts. How do you effectively hedge using puts?
Great question. For me, until we start breaking structures on a daily time frame or even on a weekly, I'm not going to buy any puts. So even though it looks weak, that's not enough for me to want to buy puts. On a swing trade, just trading in my account or in my long-term investment account, I am not buying puts just because I have a weak couple days. I'm going to buy puts, like I just said, when the markets actually break the structure. If we get strong closes below 730, we're going lower. That's when I'd potentially buy some puts. If I want to be very conservative, again, that's an aggressive side, which I could do. If I want to be conservative, I'm not going to buy puts at all because to me, I feel like this is going to be dip and it's going to bounce up. So do I really need to stress about a 7%? I don't even know what it is now because we keep going higher. 8% pullback that I feel like will be back to an all-time high in 3 months. Do I really need to worry about protecting my whole account on that? Probably not. Now, again, if it starts to drop and then the bulls don't come through, then I'd probably be waiting for 630 to break before I buy any real puts on my investment account. So I'm using price action, not just my gut, not just like, wow, the markets are high and it's going to come down. Because it's true. If you're just buying puts once a month, you're bleeding your account.
Oh yeah, no, you're losing. You can't just
really
hedge yourself out continuously here. There's a reason insurance companies make money in the long run here. So you got to time the insurance purchases correctly to make money there. You know, the only time I've ever bought in puts in my long-term account, when, Joel, because it was obvious was COVID. You know, and we were too early. We bought in January 2020. I watched all my February puts expire worthless. And then I was like, screw this. I'm going out to June because this virus is coming. And then we went out to June and we got paid. So, I mean, that was in March 2020 was like one of my best trading months ever because I was loaded on the put side. So, but, you know, that was an obvious one. We could see that virus slowly coming. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this COVID thing. Yeah, no, you could see it coming. It was like the slowest hurricane moving ever. And obviously, you know, I thought it was going to hit February, hit March. So that's the only time I've ever bought. Well, in the financial crisis, maybe I can't remember, back to 2008, 2009. But, you know, the big events, like when you see big things coming, that's when you want. I don't see the big catalyst to really kill us here, though. Like, I don't see the big, like, unless they like ban AI, that AI all of a sudden, you know, comes out and it's like, okay, we have a serious risk of Skynet here happening and Terminator coming. Unless that happens and the government bans AI or something like that, because this whole rally is built on AI, I just don't see a serious sell-off here coming. I think we're in the early innings of AI, and I think it's going to continue to drive.
Yeah. I'm praying for pullbacks. Like
me too. We all are. Every money manager is.
Man, if we could get it, it makes trading so much easier. People think that when the markets are running, it's easy to trade. It's actually a lot harder because you know that pullback is coming. You know you're extended, but it keeps going higher. So people are trying to fight it, go short. Yeah, it's tough when we're this extended. When we get pullbacks, it's easy. Like trading, like that's when I print, is when we finally get pullbacks. Not only my longer accounts, my longer like leap trades that I do in my trading account, those are easy plays, but also you get great premium on credit spreads, which is where I live, sell a ton of those, and I'm just going to ride that all the way back up. And, you know, everything stacks after you get a really good pullback. Give me a 5% pullback on the markets and we print for the next 3 months. But 11 bull weeks in a row pushing right now is a little bit tough to trade. And that's one thing here, my friends. Again, it looks like it's never going to come down, but it's looked like this 1,000 times before.
Exactly. We're waiting for some tickers. We got one ticker in here. I'll give you that in a second, but I want Tony's tactical analysis on Bitcoin.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So
Nelly, bring it up Bitcoin. Here. IBIT. You can do IBIT if you want. IBIT's a good one for a proxy if you don't have the Bitcoin future.
He doesn't even want to do it. Look at these.
I got this here.
Man, what is this doing? Is there any hope?
Man, a few things. Double top on a monthly is pretty rough. But we've double topped on a monthly before. So what did it do the last time we double topped on a monthly? Well, the last time it tried to have a little bit of a rally and then really fell apart, right back down in like pretty much into this next support zone. So we've already kind of repeated this same past as before, which could be opening the door for a lot lower. My first target here that I'm going to potentially look at, if 60,000 doesn't hold, it's got to hold. If this doesn't hold, there isn't a whole lot to hold this up all the way down to about 50 to 40. I think this is going to be the next real strong buying zone if things fall apart. It's proven to me previously that it can fall apart and continue to play. Where is it going to come through at? I don't really know. You'd have to watch price action. The next real thing that I've been looking at here that's kept me out of buying this dip is really, to me, this just looked like a flag pattern this whole time. So I don't know if I still have it on my chart or not. I don't. It's probably on the other one. But I had a flag pattern through here, and it was just, the tops weren't great, but here you go. So we kept rejecting off of it, kept rejecting off of it, and then it broke down. Once we broke this little trend line on the bottom side, which again, I'm just hand drawing it, it's done. So now what I'm trying to see is, are we getting any traps through here? If the bears can push through and then get strong reversals, that could be a sign of a bottom. That's what I'm waiting for at this point. I'm not going to try to catch this knife, but there's lower to go. And again, structurally, that is one of the toughest all-time highs I've seen on Bitcoin in a long time. So no wonder we're getting a lot of selling. And right now the momentum is to the bear side, which means rips are going to get shorted. And people that are trying to buy this dip against this momentum, it's like us, anyone trying to short the market right now against a strong bull momentum. Going against the momentum is tough. Right now, there's a lot of bear momentum on Bitcoin. And until we can start taking out some of these lower highs, I think that momentum is going to stay. So being careful on this, being patient, and letting it continue to base out is going to be the play. Staying patient on this. It's probably going to take a few more months. But if it can base out, there should be some really good buying opportunities, and I'll be all about it. But for right now, I'm staying away.
Tony wants Meta. We always go to the other Tony here for Tony. So Meta, I want Meta too. Long in the long-term account here. Recently put it in there a couple of weeks ago here. What do you think on META?
Yeah, Meta. Here's kind of what I was just talking about on Bitcoin, right? We broke this strong level and then immediate reversal. Fantastic. Like that sets the tone for a lot of bulls coming through. At the exact same time, we've got a massive head and shoulders on a monthly. So the bigger time frame is kind of like, I don't know, but these are all like dominoes, right? You're going to see some bull momentum on a daily. It's going to leak into the weekly, which will leak into the monthly. So if the bulls are going to be here, we'd need to see some strong captures of new highs. So it looks fantastic on a weekly, but my line in the sand right now is like this 595. If that gets taken out, that head and shoulder is more likely playing out on a monthly, and that's where I'd be managing my risk. For right now, it's holding, and it should be pushing back in. The next level I'd be watching for is 680. If the bulls are here, they should come and test this level. If they test this level, I don't want to see massive sell-offs off of it. We should be able to push. We should be able to hold, rest, and work our way to the next one. So that'd be the type of price action I'd be waiting for, and this would be my line in the sand right through here to see, are the bulls going to hold and start making new highs? Because that's what we need to see. If the longer we hang out in here, the more likely it is that this head and shoulder is starting to play out on a monthly.
Nosebleed territory for SanDisk. Harry wants your thoughts. So SNDK.
Woo. Very strong. Just
look at that chart. That one's awesome. It's just a green line up.
It's just a green line up. I mean, this one to me right now is not super great for trading because it's one of those where it just keeps going higher, but it's so high that at some point they're going to pull this rug out. That's just how the markets work. Every market does this. So at some point, this drop is going to come, like we were saying on the markets. It's going to pull back. It's just when. Is it going to be another 5 years? Is it going to happen tomorrow? That's where we go to the smaller time frames and we start looking at this. Right now, I'm not seeing anything on the bears. I think pullbacks continue to get bought back up. And this higher low would be my important level of like, hey, if that ever breaks, then the big crash is coming because there's nothing to hold this up. When you go straight up, you better stay strong or else you're going straight back down. So it looks structurally just fine on a shorter time frames. Weekly, again, there's nothing to be built there. It could come all the way back down to 700. I don't see anything yet on the short time frames. It's still bullish. I am not a buyer up here because I feel like this is going to, the higher this gets, the more it's going to mess with people. Hunt stops before it goes any higher. It just gets tricky, but still bullish. I'm not looking to short this either.
We got another one. Shintan wants Nebius, NBIS. It probably looks the same as SanDisk. It's just straight up.
Straight up.
The bull market with some stocks just straight up and other ones are just not participating.
Yeah, super strong. Except the nice thing is that this actually does have some structure here, but it hasn't built anything this whole way up. So I am all about buying the dip on this. It's probably going to be a little bit shallower than people think, but at some point I think we are going to start seeing a dip. If it ever does make it back to 140, which it should, maybe in 10 years, it'll be a very high demand area. Like this is where the big money's sitting to look to add. And by the time everyone's pretty depressed and this thing drops back lower and everyone's selling that bot up here, the big money should be stepping in that zone and buying it up. So paying attention to that, it looks really good. On a daily time frame, it looks a little bit exhausted to me at the moment, but it's just like the markets, right? It's probably going to continue to go higher. The fact that we're not following through with this big bull candle after normally we do on these moves is just telling me that we're probably late cycle on a lot of these things, but a new high is most likely going to come before any selling happens. So more chopping, more rest, a new high, and then look for double tops to start to form on this thing.
Chris wants ISRG. That's Intuitive Surgical.
Ooh. I like this trap that's trying to come through. So this is the barrier that cannot break, right? Like this is hold all lines and we broke it. So everybody that's been holding this thing is watching this level. This is where everybody's buying puts and a lot of people are starting to exit. If this price action now starts to reverse, that should be a really good squeeze. We've seen this type of play a couple times where it's broken those lows and then starts to run. The biggest one being back through here, right? Broke the big important level and then just immediate squeeze. The key things with this, it should move quick. These type of setups are not setups that are going to sit here for 3 months. So we should be seeing multiple bull weeks in the next couple weeks. That's what I'd be expecting. I like this if it can keep following through. This weekly candle is going to close today. It'll give us a good idea of where we're at, and then we'll see if there's any follow through. So like I'm putting an alert on this thing up above this high, 425. If this tries to run, I think there's a great opportunity to play back into these highs, and that would really just open the door into this consolidation phase. Play the tops, play the bottoms. That's how I'd see it.
Tony, every stock, I know you're very technical, but every stock needs a catalyst, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you own any Lululemon clothes?
I do.
Oh,
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Can you give us a real quick look at Lululemon?
The chart's telling me I paid too much for my clothes. So this is some serious broken structure. Retail, especially some of these higher ends, they're just getting crushed. I mean, my wife would buy Lulu, and now she just buys knockoffs on Amazon. We could afford to buy all the Lulu we want. My wife's like, I like this better. And that's the issue. There's probably some other stuff going on, but they're just getting crushed on the brand. It has everything to do with staying popular, staying in front of the cool kids. And I feel like Lulu just kind of priced themselves out of a lot of, the influencing type people. So the wealthy I'm still seeing wear Lulu. They're starting to put a lot more professional athletes in their clothing. I've noticed that, especially on the golf side of things. So I think they are trying to capture a little bit more of that higher end customer, but they've really fallen off of the whole, like, hey, this is cool. These kids in college and stuff are like, I just don't have the money to spend $80 on a pair of yoga pants, but hey, Amazon's got them for $25 and they're better, according to my wife. So I do feel like something could start to reverse on this. I don't know how much lower it can go. I mean, if you would have told me, hey, we're going back to the 2013 support zone that's never been tested, I'd be like, you're crazy. But that's what we're doing. So we are into a spot where this could potentially be finding some buyers. I just don't see this making a new all-time high for a long time. I think we probably start finding a little range down through here for the next 10 years, and we play there for a little bit, unless something drastically changes. But
okay, Tony Pawlak, owner, Real Life Trading, joining us for an extended session on pre-market prep. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Tony, killing it. Love you.
Love you too, guys.
All right, we went overtime with Tony, so we are coming to the end. Dennis, before I preview some of our guests for next week, do you have any final thoughts heading into this bloody Friday?
Well, you guys all have me all scared here now. Like, I just blindly buy dips and win money, and I'm not sure that strategy holds with Tony and Joel being bearish on me here. So a little bit of caution, but, I've still got the buy the dip hat on. I'm not taking it off.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to have an exciting week next week. We're going to have Tim Quast on Monday. We're going to have CFA Jeff Buckbinder from LPL Financial joining us on Tuesday. Our boy Blue, he'll be here on Wednesday. We're going to talk biotech on Thursday with Laura Chico. And Louie, we'll talk to Louie Sykes here and see where he stands on Bitcoin on Friday, folks. That's going to wrap it up for another fun week, informative week on Pre-Market Prep.